Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Well, to marry or not to marry, that seems to be the question. Getting married isn't a decision to make just on financial grounds, but the choice certainly has a lot of financial consequences. My column a few weeks ago about laws that provide financial incentives not to marry drew so many comments that it seemed worthwhile to follow up with a second column. Several commenters pointed out additional reasons for staying single. Tax laws for married couples don't just affect the wealthy, and the example that I cited was for a high-earning couple. Yet those with lower incomes can pay a tax for being married just as much. For example, the earned income credit intended to provide help for low-income taxpayers with young children is one example. A single mom with modest earnings would probably qualify for a substantial credit. She could also file as head of household to get a higher standard deduction, which would be $9,100 for 2014 as opposed to $6,200 for a single taxpayer. If she remarried, she might lose part or all of her credit, and the joint standard deduction for her and her spouse would be $12,400. Or suppose one of a couple had significant employee expenses or medical costs. These together with mortgage interest might add up to say $14,000 in itemized deductions. As a married couple filing jointly or separately, they would have just $1,600 more than the standard deduction. But if they were unmarried, one partner might be able to itemize the $14,000 while the other took the $6,200 standard deduction for a single person, greatly increasing their deductions. Remarriage might also make it harder for your kids to get into college. Students whose parents are divorced may be able to apply for financial aid because, just based on the custodial parent's income. If that parent remarries, the step-parent's income is likely to be considered as well and could completely nullify any particular grants or aids. On the other side of the coin, there are many ways that state and federal laws do support marriage. For example, Social Security is one area. It clearly favors marriage, as unmarried partners don't qualify for survivor benefits. Minor children, however, can be eligible for survivor benefits even if the parents aren't married. And the application process is significantly more complicated because it's necessary to prove the deceased parent's relationship to the child. And yet, once you get divorced and you are filing for your ex-spouse's Social Security, you can qualify for that as long as you remain unmarried. In other ways, unmarried partners are at a disadvantage. They don't automatically inherit property if it's titled in their specific names. Of course they would if it was titled jointly. They don't automatically qualify for pension plans or retirement accounts. They don't necessarily have the right to make end-of-life decisions or authorize medical care unless specific documents have been executed. And so for this reason, couples who opt not to marry need to take conscious action to deal with the financial aspects of their relationship. Wills are essential. As I said, so are medical powers of attorney. Financial powers of attorney. Parents should make careful and deliberate decisions about day-to-day money matters, like whether to have a joint bank account or to own their own home as joint tenants. They also need to consider whether to designate each other as beneficiaries on life insurance policies, pension plans, or retirement accounts. The point is being very, very aware. So couples who choose marriage also shouldn't ignore the financial consequences by any means. Those in second marriages, for example, need to be sure that their estate planning provides fairly for children of previous marriages. Like so many other big decisions, whether to get married is a choice best made with the heart rather than the head, but you don't want to leave the head out altogether. Your beliefs about what is important and how you want to live, though, certainly outweigh the financial or tax concern. As I said, money matters too, because our laws don't always keep up with the changes in our culture. It's important to make sure that the financial side of any relationship is what you and your partner want it to be. It's part of your responsibility to provide for yourself and your family. Thanks for joining me.